Hey loves, hello friends. It is Kendra with the Prosperous Projector, and I am coming at you today to talk with you about what it means to be a prosperous projector, being the prosperous projector, becoming the prosperous projector, and really embodying what this energy is. So if you're new to me and you've never been here, I'd love for you to say hi in the comments. If you're watching the replay, hit hashtag replay. If you're not new to me, say hi in the comments. I'd love to circle back and connect with you. So my brand is all about being the prosperous projector, right? It's a human design focused brand. I myself am a projector, and so I have a lot of passion around supporting my fellow projector entrepreneurs and diving deeper into being and becoming the most prosperous version of themselves they can possibly be. But first, before we dive into this, I'm going to be sharing with you my framework of how, in my pathway that I support my projector clients with. I have a pathway that I've taken through, and I'm going to share that with you. But first, I want to talk about this idea of prosperity, right? Because we've heard the word before, prosperity, abundance. We hear it all the time. And typically what we do is we associate the word prosperity, we associate the word abundance with money. And while that is, yes, very much true, and being a prosperous projector is about being prosperous as it pertains to your financial well-being, but I also want to, the way that I look at this is more of a holistic approach, right? I want to support you, and I want to encourage you and invite you and empower you to focus on creating prosperity in all areas of your life. Right? I want you to feel prosperous in your body. I want you to have a prosperous mindset. I want you to have a prosperous spiritual life, a prosperous relationships, a prosperous business, right? It's about all of these things. But when I look at this idea of prosperity as it pertains to money, one of the things that I know to be true for me and what I've seen play out in my life and in the lives of the clients that I've worked with and those around me is that financial prosperity is a byproduct of who you are being, of how you are being. It's a byproduct of the thoughts and beliefs that you operate in from day to day. It's a byproduct of your behaviors, of your habits that you show up with day to day, right? So we put so much energy and focus on money, which is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to, be wealthy and prosperous myself, but we forget about the soul piece. We forget about actually what it looks like to be the kind of person or the woman who naturally just attracts that instead of operating in this masculine way of being, which is what we've all been mostly conditioned around of like hustle and push and force and got to make it happen. And how can I get this? How can I get that? And we forget that there is so much power within your own energy when you can let your energy do the work, a lot of the heavy lifting for you, right? So when I talk about being a prosperous projector, we're looking at all areas here. And, the pathway that I take, that I feel is important, is looking at your inner game. What is your inner game like, right? What are the thoughts that you are constantly thinking? What are the stories that you're telling yourself? What are the conditioned ways of being that you're showing up in your life in so that you can release them, right? So I want to share with you my prosperous projector pathway and what that looks like. And it's literally, I look at 3 different areas that I feel are really important to support you in bridging this gap between where you are now and where you want to be. And those 3 areas are around awareness, alignment, and action. Awareness, alignment, and action. I found that when I focus on these 3 areas, and I'm going to go deeper into each of these for you, that when I focus on these 3 areas, what begins to happen is all the things that we are desiring to show up for us in our external world, they begin showing up because you're taking this intentional pathway of doing the inner work, right? So let's talk about awareness first. Because all of this pathway that I'm sharing with you is really about you deepening into your own personal power. We all have an immense amount of personal power, but what we typically do, and I've done this before too, is we give our power away to those things that are external of us. We give our power away to the circumstances that are happening in our lives. We give our power away to the certain people in our lives. We give our power away to the things that are happening in the world. And my goal for you, and what I want for you more than anything, is to know to first of all, know how to connect to your personal power and to know what it feels like to be in your power. To not be afraid of your power, to let go of any shame or guilt or worry about how other people are going to perceive you if you're showing up in your power, right? So let's talk about awareness. So when I go through my Prosperous Projector pathway, we look at awareness, but within this realm of awareness, we're first looking at connecting to your divine design, right? Everything that I do with my clients and that I support you in is always going to be around human design, through the lens of human design. So typically, what the challenge looks like here when you're not connected to your divine design is you're working against yourself, right? You're working against yourself. There's a lot of resistance. It feels like things aren't working and you're just not going with your natural flow, and you can feel that, and it doesn't feel good to you. But when you can begin to connect to your divine design as a projector, and I mean like looking at all the different layers of your unique human design blueprint and understanding what they mean, understanding what your gifts are, understanding where your strengths lie, understanding where your vulnerabilities are, and where you need to specifically look at to release the conditioning, to release the ways of being and patterns that are not supporting you. So when we connect you to your divine design and you begin to understand on a deeper level how you are wired to show up in this world, you have this improved understanding of yourself. And because you have this improved understanding of yourself, the way that you approach your business, the way that you approach your life, your relationships, the way that you approach yourself begins to shift and change. But without this awareness, right, you are walking around being someone who you think you need to be in order to get the end result, in order to get the outcome that you desire. Okay? So connecting to your divine design is about doing that work that people don't see you doing this work, right? It's the behind the scenes type of work that you're doing to connect with who you are. You're looking at your human design body graph and you're tuning into, okay, oh wow, these are my gifts and I get to lean into this. These are my strengths. So I'm going to choose to double down on these strengths. These are my vulnerabilities. Okay, let me do the clearing work, the mindset work, the whatever it is that needs to be done, the deconditioning work to shift these patterns that aren't working for me. The next level within self-awareness is claiming your true desires and vision. This is where you step into your vision, you step into your power. The problem is many of us are holding back our true desires for fear of it not coming true, right? I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with where we start talking about, okay, what do you really want? Like, what are your dreams? And on multiple occasions, I've had clients say to me, oh, wow, like I didn't realize this, but I've stopped dreaming, right? They stopped dreaming. Why? Because we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. We get caught up in surviving and just making it through, right? Or you don't give yourself permission to dream because you deep down, you really don't believe that you get to have that desire. Or you don't believe that you're capable of bringing that desire forth. Or the other thing is you're stuck in the how, right? You're so worried about like, how is this going to happen? How can I make that happen? That you're not giving yourself permission to play in your imagination and really tap into your dreams. So this is about, in this section here, claiming your true desires and vision. It's about getting really clear on your dreams, clear on your vision. You can never get clear enough. You can never get too clear about where it is that you want to go, about your vision, about your dreams. You can never get too clear on this. And my belief is that we need to be visiting and revisiting our dreams and our visions frequently, right? It needs to be something that you're constantly connecting with and tuning into so that you can get into the flow of creating a plan for yourself, of creating the actions and shifting the thoughts and the behaviors and things that are getting in your way from bringing this dream and this vision to fruition. You are a creator. You have the power within you to create exactly what you see here in your mind's eye. It's just about getting out of your way, right? It's about claiming what you, unapologetically claiming what it is that you desire and what your vision is, right? We've got to let go of this fear of, well, what will people think? Are people going to think that that I think I'm, better than everybody else? Or people are going to think that that's silly. It doesn't matter. If it's your dream, if it's your vision, it gets to happen. The third piece below this awareness umbrella in the first stage of this pathway is about freeing your mind. Okay, and I've already kind of talked about this a little bit. And so the problem that shows up here is maybe you're operating from unsupportive beliefs and thoughts that are keeping you stuck, right? That are keeping you in this constant feedback loop. Your thoughts are so important. Your thoughts are what calibrate your emotions, which then calibrate your actions. So if we're not getting in front of our thoughts and creating thoughts that are supportive and that are aligned with where we want to go, it makes it really hard for us to get where we dream to be. So this awareness piece around freeing your thoughts is about really becoming aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and narratives that are really running the show. Anytime that I feel like I'm experiencing resistance or fear, I ask myself, what narrative is currently running in my mind that is bringing up this fear, that is making me feel this emotion of fear? What are the narratives there? And the narratives may be I don't know if this is going to work. I've never done this before. Fear of failure. Well, I don't know if it's perfect enough. Fear of not meeting the responsibilities that you have for your family or for your business. And so instead of moving through those fears or addressing those thoughts, many of us just stop right there. We just stop just short of our expansion into our next level of potential. Now, the next big piece here to this prosperous projector pathway is around alignment, right? Once you've got the self-awareness piece in there, we need to start looking at alignment. So the first piece of this is to raise your resiliency, right? And so what I mean by this is typically, sometimes what we can see happen is you're allowing the circumstances of your perceived reality to have power over you, which then leaves you feeling overwhelmed. Right? So you're operating from this space of circumstantial power, where your circumstances are the thing that has the power over you, and it's informing your actions or your lack of action. And so in this area here, I like to bring in the tool of EFT, which is called Emotional Freedom Technique. And we look at your unique human design and we tap into the resiliency keys that are within your design. Now, these resiliency keys were created by Karen Cray Parker, and she does a beautiful job of integrating human design with EFT. And that is what I use now with my clients to support them in raising your level of resiliency. So when you practice this quantum level of the emotional freedom technique, you're able to stabilize and regulate your nervous system, right? And this is key here, because before we can step into and really own that version of you that is already within you, right, that prosperous woman that's already within you, before you can own that, you've got to be able to hold it in your body. Because if you don't have the ability or the resiliency to hold that next level and to hold all that comes with that, the responsibilities, the way that you'll need to show up, if you cannot hold that, you will just slingshot your way back to where you were before. And you might have heard this called the rubber band effect, right? Where you stretch yourself, then you freak out, your nervous system freaks out, it doesn't feel safe, and so then you just shrink right back to where you were. So raising your resiliency and expanding yourself energetically and clearing any emotions or anything that's within you that needs to be clear so that you can free up the space to be able to hold this bigger version of you is so very important. The second piece to this around your alignment is shifting your identity. It's time to shift your identity, right? And so what this looks like when you are, the challenge of this is maybe you're not thinking, acting, or behaving from the version that you desire to be because you don't really identify with that version of you, right? You want prosperity, financial prosperity, prosperity in your health, prosperity in your mindset, prosperity in relationships, in your business. You want that, but for whatever reason, you are not identifying as the woman who gets to have that. Okay? So you have this distorted view of yourself. And so we got to work on that, right? And so, there are fun and really practical steps to support you in being hurt now. But you see why it's also important then to do that clearing with EFT, right? To have some type of tool to help you clear the emotional, stuff that wants to hold on to you. Because when you clear that space, you open up the energy to really step into this new identity that you get to operate from to bring in your prosperity that is rightfully yours, right? The third piece of this alignment umbrella that we're in is about asking for help from your higher self. It's about connecting to your spirit squad. This is a really big one for me because I am a spiritual person. I believe in God. I believe in this higher power, the angels and guides out there who are out there to support me, right? And to guide me. But we are all operating from free will. So God, universe, angels, whatever you want to call them, they're not going to come in and do anything in your life because you have free will. You have to ask. You have to ask for the help. And this is a really big thing for me because it occurred to me that, I would ask for help in other areas of my life, but I wasn't asking for help in my business or in how I showed up in my business, right? So we forget and we don't realize that you can ask for help from the spiritual realm, and in that can help connect you to the wisdom and the intuition that's already within you. So strengthening your intuition and learning how to receive guidance from your higher self and learning how to receive guidance from your spirit squad is so important. And in order to be able to do that, what do we have to do? We have to be able to slow the mind down, clear the mind, right? And listen. We've got to listen. So if you're stuck in the hustle and bustle of doing things and just getting by and survival, you don't have space or capacity to just sit and listen for the guidance. So this is a really crucial piece in this alignment phase of the projector pathway of carving out time in your schedule where you can just sit and listen. And so the way that I look at this is, I sit in meditation, I will pray. That is me like sending up my requests, right? Sending up my requests for help, talking about where I am. Is my prayer. And then in meditation, I'm listening, using my journal to just, let whatever wants to come out, and trusting that guidance, right? So this does require a level of trust, okay? Now, the last big piece around this prosperous projector pathway is action, right? Because you gotta take action. You can't do all this inner work and then sit back and think, okay, well, I'm just going to see what comes up, right? There is action involved. That is your part, is taking the action. So we got to look at number one, closing the gap, right? And so what that means is, maybe you're not sure how to translate what you've learned or what you are learning into your daily life. So especially as it pertains to human design, I get this question a lot. I'll do a reading for somebody or I'll talk to someone about their human design. And quite naturally, the next question is, okay, so how do I actually take this and now integrate this into my life? How do I actually begin to take all these things that I've learned about myself and practice them on the daily? This is closing the gap. And this is where action comes in, okay? So there are steps that you get to take and everyone's is different, right? I do have what I call, practicing your Prosperous 7, where there are these 7 steps that you get to look at to make sure that you're keeping yourself in that flow and in that energy of action, right? And a lot of it has to do with, moving your body as a projector, making sure that you're clearing your energy because our auras are constantly absorbing the energy around it. So are you clearing that energy, right? Doing your mindset work and shifting your thoughts from, poor thoughts to prosperous thoughts. Doing the inner work, right? So those actions and those activities help you to close the gap. It is embodying your strategy and authority, right? For me, I'm a projector, so my strategy is to wait for the invitation, and my authority is I'm a splenic authority. So for me, it's in the moment, right? I don't know anything until it's there, right? For me, it's very much in the moment. So practicing that, aligning with that, being in the energy of receptivity and allowing invitations that want to show up to show up, right? Those are the daily practices that you get to do to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. The next piece in this action phase is what I call show up and show out. So as projectors, we can sometimes have this underlying fear of being seen, this underlying fear of being recognized, even though deep in our heart, that's what we want. We want to be seen and we want to be recognized, right? But what typically happens here in this phase, when instead of showing up and showing out, you're staying stuck in your head. You're thinking about it, over analyzing things, and you're not taking action, right? Maybe you're feeling the discomfort of all the deconditioning work that you're doing, and so you're kind of paralyzed. You're like, I don't know what to do. Maybe you're stuck in like perfection paralysis, right? Things need to be perfect before you can take that step. Or you're comparing yourself to other people, and so you're looking at what other women are doing in the industry, and you're thinking, there's no way that I can do that. Wow, she's so great at this. I can't do that. And what are you doing? You're staying stuck. You're not showing up and showing out like you can. So when you learn how to take all that noise and push it away, right? From that place, you can learn how to take inspired and aligned action with confidence based on your design as a projector. One of the common misconceptions I hear in the human design world, or that I see in the human design world, is, projectors are designed to wait for the invitation. Yes, that is true. But that does not mean that you have got to be invited to share your gifts, to share your thoughts, to share your ideas, to share your work. You don't have to wait for invitations for that. Right? You can show up and you can do Facebook Lives like this. You can send emails to your email list. You can, do an Instagram Live if you want to. You can show up on Instagram stories or Facebook stories. You can go out there and write a blog. But you get to share your gifts and the things that you're passionate about, right? And that action taking, that's showing up. It's what it's not is it's not forcing. You're not out there forcing, hustling, trying to prove yourself. You are solid in your value and what you bring to the table. You know what you bring to the table, and you're showing up from that space. The last piece around the action pillar is focusing your energy. So as a projector, your aura is focused and absorbing, right? So you are really great one-to-one because your aura really penetrates the other and it absorbs the other's energy, and that is how you know how to really guide, support, give advice, and get insight to guide the other person's energy. It is what makes you phenomenal at being a coach, a mentor, a healer, a teacher, right? When your energy is not focused, you're out there taking all this manic, unfocused action, and you're being trailed by all these distractions because your energy is going there, your energy is going there. Or you are, maybe you have energy leaks in your business where you have boundaries that are constantly being crossed. You feel like you have to create, a new product or a new program every single month. So you're out there hustling, doing that. Instead of focusing your energy in, getting really clear on what it is that you want to create and what you are creating, and focusing the energy there. So I call it staying in your lane, right? Staying in your lane. Right? Stop looking at the people over here and what they're doing and why they're doing it. Stay in your lane and do your thing and show up and show out. Okay? So this is about learning what is your lane, right? How to stay in it and focusing your energy on what's important to you and your overall vision. As projectors, our signature theme is success. Like, we are here to be successful. You are wired for success. But it's about creating success on your terms, not how somebody else is telling you it needs to be. It's on your terms. And you can only figure that out if you are staying in your lane, focused on what it is that you want to create and do, and getting really clear on what success looks and feels like for you. Okay? So that's my Prosperous Projector pathway and kind of like my framework to support you in really building the prosperity that you desire, whether it be financial prosperity, whether it be mindset prosperity, spiritual prosperity, the whole version of who you are, right? Are those three areas with, of course, the deeper action and the deeper areas that we spoke to. So what I want to know from you is, which of those areas do you resonate with? Right? Where do you feel like, I want to work on the action piece, or I want to work on the alignment piece, or I want to work on the awareness piece? Let me know, what area do you feel like maybe you could do some more work on to bring yourself back to your central place of being and becoming a prosperous projector. The last thing I want to leave with you, next to the last thing I want to leave with you is this. You are already that version of you, the version of you you see as successful and doing the darn thing and living the life and having the business that you desire, she is already inside of you. It's literally about you getting out of your way, clearing the beliefs, the narrative stories that are not supporting you, and connecting with that version of you, connecting with your power and being in your power unapologetically, letting go of any shame, letting go of any guilt, letting go of worrying, wondering what other people are going to say, and just being in your lane, your power. And then the last thing I want to share with you is this. We are opening up doors to the Prosperous Projector paradigm very soon. We are in the pre-sale, kind of in the pre-sale stages of things right now. But essentially, what I want to let you know about is the Prosperous Projector paradigm is a 12-month embodiment and personal power journey for projector entrepreneurs who are ready to expand, right, on the inside so that your business and your life can expand as a result. So during this 12-month journey, we're going to dive deep into aligning with your design through deconditioning. You raise your resiliency, up-level your identity, and step into a new identity, and you're going to close the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, right? So this experience is for the projector who is ready to change your entire experience inside of your life and your business, right? And so we get to walk together in this 12-month journey to create that. So I am going to drop a link below that will take you to a page. It's my invitation list. If you want to know, like, okay, when the doors open on this, or Kendra, I want to know more about this, then I'm going to drop a link below. You can put your information in there, and I'm definitely going to let you know what this looks like as far as investment-wise, all the things that are included in it, all that good stuff. So I'll drop that link for you below because we are going to start reselling this thing really soon and getting the ball rolling on that. I'm super excited to work with those who decide to walk with me on this journey. All right, loves. If you are any questions, any thoughts, I'd love to know in the comments what has come up for you. You can put it below and I'll come back and connect with you. Have an amazing day. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.